Right now, we again have one track, and there will be more, I would say, food for thought. There will be not just explanations of what different our products can do. There will be interesting cases, interesting situations, interesting applications of already existing technologies. And now I invite Daniel Volož on stage because there is always a question, a competition traditionally between TV and online. But there is other solutions than just compete.
Hi. So I'm Daniel. I'm from Hurra.com. We're an online advertising agency. I am, I think, the second person to present tonight who isn't from Yandex, so I feel a bit strange, to be honest. I hope that's not an issue for the most of you. I really want to talk about linking offline and online advertising. For example, wouldn't it be really great if our potential clients, the users of the internet, of the websites that we want to convert them on, see your advertising on one medium, and simultaneously they see your advertising on another medium to emphasize the advertising effect, or to pick up on lost attention, should they have been distracted in the meantime. This is generally what I will be talking about today. Now, given the fact that it is already 4 p.m. and there have been quite a few presentations today, and they have been quite in-depth and sophisticated, I will actually take a step back and look more at the greater picture, and like Andrei just said, it's more food for thought than really hard work. Also, I just don't want to overload you right now. It's going to be a top-level thought, concept, vision. I will have a few figures at the end for those of you who need figures to be able to set the checkpoint that you've seen some figures. But otherwise, let's just start. Now, being the fact that we are online marketers, it is our job for our own companies or for our customers to generate new customers, to generate growth, to generate more sales, more revenue, improve all possible KPIs. While we do that, we take many, many different kind of measures. And we really look for levers that we can turn around and then boost performance. Ideally, probably out of the depth of my heart, we're all looking for one big button, which we press, and then all of a sudden everything is perfect. I would be very happy to present you with this button right now, but unfortunately, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't exist. So so are we, but it's not so easy, right? So again, we have the instruments that are kindly provided by Yandex, by other companies, and we have to use these and utilize these in ways to achieve increased performance, boost growth, find new customers, and grow businesses. So we're looking for levers, right? Big ones, small ones, the bigger the better. Now, when we do this in our search for the lever, the big red holy button, we quickly come to this friend here. He's already been on a couple of on a couple of presentations today. It's dark, I'm confused. And I got up at 4 a.m., so I'm a bit further in the day biologically. The funnel, the conversion funnel. Now, when we optimize performance, the first thing that we start thinking about is channel optimization, multi-channel optimization, cross-channel optimization, customer journey. Then we go to the funnel. We start splitting the funnel into brand, non-brand, regional splitting, segmenting. Segmenting has been an issue in a presentation just a few minutes ago. We come to a very, very, very complex system. A very complex network of optimizations of very small levers. The more we segment, the smaller the levers become that are available to us. And so in order to achieve the next big boost for growth, we have to take very, very many actions on different places to achieve the same result as if we had one big thing. That's law of physics, unfortunately. Not much we can do about that. Now, I'm not saying this is bad. This is extremely important. And I'll explain at a later point in time why this is extremely important, although most of you probably know anyway. But this system It's important for long-term, sustainable growth, but not for quick growth. Again, because we have to take many actions in order to achieve the big push, and because it is just very, very complex. And once something is complex, you usually start thinking, never touch a working system. Although in some cases you should. So it becomes quite obvious that if our task is to look for the next big thing and the big button which will actually boost our performance, we have to take a step back and look at the greater picture. It's not working. Oh, no, it is. So we look at the greater picture, at balances, harmony. It's a bit esoteric, I know. But actually, we're looking at harmony within the funnel and outside the funnel. So harmony between different elements of the funnel within themselves and harmony between the funnel and its environment. Now, for the sake of simplicity, let's just imagine that that's a funnel. We will split it round about here, 1/3 at the top, 2/3 at the bottom, and we will say everything that goes into it at the top and the top 1/3 is what we would call a number of push actions. So actions that actually push traffic, push users towards your brand, towards your product. Everything that is below is the pull. So that is once you actually have some kind of contact with the user, you start pulling him to get him to convert him or to sort him out because he's just not your customer. So really what we're talking about is a good balance between the push and the pull. Now, this balance between these two and why it's so important is very easy. It has a lot to do with food. As you can see, this is probably not the best example of a healthy diet. Especially not the croissants. I'm very sorry, I love them, but they're just not good for us. So imagine what happens with your body if you have a healthy diet. In a healthy diet, you have all different types of nutritions, proteins, carbohydrates, minerals, vitamins, everything all together in a perfect balance, aligned to each other. That is when you have a perfect body. The moment you break this system and there is disbalance in it, something will happen. You will either start losing weight when you don't want to, or you will start gaining weight when you don't want to, or you will not be able to achieve the results that you want. For example, if you want to gain muscle weight, you need to eat proteins. Now, let's imagine that this is not just a list of plates, but this is actually the sales funnel. And we will make the split between push and pull somewhere in the middle of the pasta. Now, the two have to be in balance. With the right side, that is pretty much the mesh, the optimization system, the network, the complex thing that I showed you in the very beginning. Now, for 1 second, let's just imagine that we have a pull section which is perfectly optimized, but the push isn't there. The system is going to starve because there will just be no more users to run through it to convert them. If, on the other side, you have a very healthy push system and no funnel at the bottom, no lower funnel, no optimization, well, the system's going to choke because there is no process for processing the users that come in. Coming back to the question, I mean, why am I talking about this? This is a bit strange. Plates, food, funnel. Again, coming back to the main task is to find growth, to find new users, new customers. We believe that it is important to find the right balance between the push and the pull in order to have sustainable new customers in the future. And when we get new customers, or when we actually start getting people into the system, we obviously have to look into the left side, the push side, because that's where the new users come from. That's where they are. And so we want to address them in a way that they will actually be very emotional about your brand, about your product. We want them to remember you. We want them to engage with you at a later point in time. So we need a medium which is the most emotional one. And what medium would that be? Out of the digital channels that we have, it's video, because it just addresses the most senses that we have. If you look at what's going on with Facebook recently, My newsfeed is full of video posts. Every time I try to post something in text only, it gets no attention. I've actually seen a message from Facebook saying, post a video to get more attention. So video gets more attention. It's the most emotional possibly type of medium that we have available because, well, we cannot transport smell or taste yet, and we cannot touch immaterial products virtually. So I want to talk about how we can use video in order to get the right balance between the push and the pull for sustainable growth. And I will do that after a quick break.
Hey, Melissa, the whales need your help.
I love whales! Go, Melissa! Let's protect those whales!
Hey, Melissa, now the trees need you. The ice caps are in trouble. Hey, Melissa, now the rhinos need saving.
It's hard to be an eco-warrior, but it's easy to drive like one. Introducing the most fuel-efficient crossover, the Kianero.
Oh, come on!
Quick experiment. Who watched the video from the very beginning to the very end? Who didn't? You can be very honest about it. What did you do? Perfect. I saw some people upstairs who didn't even look in this direction, even though there was some really emotional stuff going on. I mean, this woman, she's sacrificing her life for the environment. So, you haven't looked at the video from beginning to end. What brand was it? What product? Okay, that's it. So, see? It's video. It's very emotionally binding. Where do we find the majority of video consumers? They're either on the internet or on TV. Back to the question, why did I have offline on my presentation title? So, TV. Beautiful TV set. I wish I would have had one at home. I don't. I don't have a TV at all. There are a few things going on with video consumption globally right now. One of them is that the internet is growing in terms of video consumption. If we take Germany, for example, over the last 3 years, so 2014 to 2017, video consumption online has grown from 10% of the people who actually watch video content to 50% of the people watching video content on YouTube and 30% using streaming services. At the same time, we have another process going on, which is on TV, and that's a bit different. Actually, the consumption rates are sinking. So in the same time period, consumption of video material on TV, on linear TV, classical TV, has shrunk from 80% to 65%. And if that was not enough, in addition to that, we have the phenomenon that people get distracted while they watch video material. So I'm very thankful that you actually did that. You visualized what I was trying to show. Now, everybody else, for whatever reason, I don't know, it was a spot from Super Bowl, maybe because they make really good advertising for the Super Bowl because it's so expensive. But about 30% of all people in Germany, according to stats from 2 years ago, admitted that while watching video, they have a second screen. And they do something else on it. Phone, tablet, notebook. In the US, actually about 90% of the people have admitted to be multitasking while watching video. So we just came to the conclusion that video is really emotionally binding, but people don't really watch it. So if we wanted to use video in one way or another to gain awareness for our product in order to then process the users, we have to think of something. There's another problem with video consumption, and that is that globally, advertising is still heavily dependent on this guy here. The classical, the old-fashioned TV set, who has one best friend, and that's the GRP. TV, GRP, reach cheap, well, relatively cheap, you can't call it cheap, but you get a lot of audience, relatively cheap, and very high awareness. And because it's video content, it's very emotional, unless people don't watch it. Again, if we address the other phenomenon of shrinking TV consumption, if we look at it in more detail, for example, again, in the US, about 70% of 14 to 25 aged people say they no longer watch TV. They use something on the internet. Now, for our purposes, if we say, we're online marketers, so we're not going to run off and buy TV ads. We have to do something online. The moment the user basically enters the internet, he will be on various different platforms, and again, we will be at a point when the cost of contact per user is higher than, still unfortunately higher than on TV with the best friend GRP. But is that going to be like this forever? I have no clue, to be honest. Out of the depth of my heart, I don't have a clue what's going to be in the future. We've had some people who said that newspapers are going to die. They're still around. We've had people who said the radio is going to die. That's still alive. It's like in every car right now. And we have probably people saying that TV is going to die. Classical TV is going to die. Well, I don't know. If you ask Apple, Apple will say the future is the HomePods. Like 3 years ago, they said the future is mobile. We don't know. Nobody knows what the future is. Everything is changing so fast-paced right now. The only thing we really know is the present. And the present is clearly, we have still very, very strong impact from TV on people in terms of awareness. Still fairly good reach of TV, but we have the process of people abandoning it to the internet. Now, what do we do with this? We want to grow, we want to get new customers, we want to address these customers in a very emotional way, and ideally at the time when they are most responsive. What we believe we should do at this point is to really align all the steps in the customer journey to one another, from the push to the pull, with push really utilizing on the most emotionally possible push channel, which is TV. How? Well, firstly, by identifying what impact TV advertising actually has on your website, on your business. That's measurable. Secondly, if you are running TV advertising yourself, you can optimize that in a way to achieve bigger impact, bigger uplifts on your website. Basically, what you can do, is you can calculate a GRP for online users and work by that. If you don't do TV advertising yourself, this works perfectly even without. Because TV will have an impact on online in one way or another, and it is your task to actually make use of it, which brings us again to all the pull channels. You have to align the pull channels in order to utilize on the uplift provided from TV. Why am I so confident about this? Because we've tested it. It works. I don't want to brag too much. We're still in testing. In some cases, we are further than in testing because people have actually liked it and they come back for more. But this really works, and it works within 10 minutes. Why 10 minutes? Because we've measured that within 10 minutes after the airing of a TV spot, users are really, really, really open to communication because they're sitting on a second screen either searching for something or they are just open to signals because they've gone onto the internet. They are on some kind of, they're doing something. They're open for information. And even though they will go back to their TV show that they were supposedly watching, unless they were sitting like this, looking at their iPad all the time. My father-in-law watches TV like this, so there's something going on the TV, and he'll just sit all evening like that, doing something on his iPad. Can't really say he's doing any of the two, but that's what we have. During these 10 minutes, we have seen the following results, which is one, we have seen that if you take, for example, the TV spot of a brand, within 10 minutes there will be more than double amount of searches for the brand online right after the airing of the spot. This works also if it's not brand searches. So for example, people start searching more actively for products that were displayed in the TV spot. Sometimes we've measured around about 30%, sometimes more, sometimes less. It's a very average figure. Like, don't take these figures literally. The key thing here is TV boosts demand in one way or another. So you have more people searching for products, whether you want it or not, whether we can influence it or not, assuming there is the offline marketing department in our company which we cannot influence in any way. They will either book TV advertising or not. But if they do, we have the impact online, and we have to make use of it. Now, these people who are generally more responsive within the first 10 minutes, they are actually really more responsive, so they react to your advertising. We have had CTR, click-through rates, on ads displayed within that time on second screen campaigns of almost twice as much as compared to campaigns that are just online all the time. And since this is an awareness push, the improved CTR actually reduces CPC. So you can get more users who are actually relevant, who are interested in your product, for less within the short period of time after the TV spot was aired. For that, you obviously need specific campaigns that go online and offline for these 10 minutes that will then, in some way or another, pick up on this demand, either by using specific keywords that relate to the product that was used in the TV spot, or by using the same visual so that you really have a second screen. You have a product on your TV set, and you have the same visuals, the same campaign on your iPad, on your phone. Okay, sorry. There are also Android tablets and other operation systems. I'm a bit branded. So, synchronized campaigns that go online immediately the moment that a TV spot was aired. For that, obviously, you need a little bit of technology and a little bit of, I have to say it, machine learning. I don't like the word, but everybody uses it. I had to say it too, because you have to be able to recognize TV spots in real time, be able to categorize them, and then trigger actions at the same time. At that point, you then start the campaign, 10 to 15 minutes usually, you stop it. And apart from the fact that these users actually respond to advertising, they actually also spend more time interacting with your website than compared to users that came before the TV spot or half an hour after. They really interact more with the website, and they are more likely to convert at a later point in time than users that came directly before the TV spot. Now, conversion. It can be sales. It can be any kind of other actions that you need for your business. I want to really emphasize this because this is an awareness thing. It's not about driving performance. This is the upper funnel. But these users are likely to convert through the lower funnel if it is set up. And that is why it's so highly important to have the complex system of optimization in the lower funnel, to be able to catch these people, sort them into two categories: useful, later useful. Yes, and that's why you basically need this whole system. Now, you might ask yourself, why am I talking about this here at a Yandex conference, with me not being from Yandex? It's fairly simple, because right now, we are in the process of running a number of alpha tests with Yandex to make this work within the Yandex environment. And we are looking for volunteers to help us develop this further, to make it work, to make this a product that you can use, which will allow you to utilize on the effect that TV has on your brand, from your TV ads, from other TV ads on the long tail, both from display, search, and video advertising. Now, if you're interested, and this is something that you think is cool, feel free to reach out to me either at a later point in time today or by taking, by taking my contacts from that screen. I will be around here for some time tonight.